the shadowed corners of the realm of mythos lurks a figure as mischievous as he is mysterious. Swig, the goblin alchemist, first slipped into our collections with the fabled All-Stars 5-wave, an unlikely champion, who may just be more than his crooked grin and calculating stare reveal at first glance. A master of concoctions and poisons, Swig carries with him the dangerous knowledge of brews that can heal, hinder, or haunt. Behind those glowing yellow eyes lies a mind teetering between genius and madness, forever scheming, forever experimenting. His staff crackles with arcane energy, but it is the countless vials strapped to his armor that hold his true power. Not merely another goblin warrior, Swig represents the unpredictable heart of alchemy itself, chaotic, transformative, and endlessly fascinating. For some, he's a trickster. For others, a menace. But on our shelves, there is no denying he has earned his place as one of the most beloved goblins to ever join the ranks of mythic legions. So tell me, what secrets lie in the bottles of Swig, and what legends will he brew upon your shelf? Swig's official bio from sourcehorseman.com. Goblins are the smallest and least powerful of the impure, a fact which has long bothered King Noglin. Wishing to increase the importance of the goblin army to the machinations of Gorgo Aetherblade, the Goblin King has tasked his chief alchemist with creating magical elixirs to give to his goblin soldiers. Hidden in his lab in the depths of Gobhollow, Swig brews potions that grant those who drink them abilities such as unmatched strength, impenetrable skin, the ability to fly or to turn invisible. That is, of course, if the potions work as intended. Not all of Swig's concoctions perform as planned, and taking a drink of one of his potions is always a risk. Not every legend is born on the battlefield. Some slip into existence through a twist of fate. When Four Horsemen Studios made a small ordering error, the result was no less than an extra 1,000 Swigs. Rather than vanishing into obscurity, these goblins found their way into a mystery box event, where the tale was spun that one of Swig's alchemical potions had multiplied him 1,000-fold. What began as a curious mistake soon blossomed into a community legend. A collector dared to propose a challenge. What if we gathered every Swig we could at LegionsCon, the premier Mythic Legions event, and brought the story to life? And so it was. Hundreds of fans rallied, packing their mischievous goblins, determined to assemble a sight unseen, the march toward 1,000 Swigs in one place. The energy of that gathering was undeniable, and the vision unforgettable. Now, the call rings out again. This year, the community seeks to complete the tale. If you're attending LegionsCon, bring your Swig, or 2, or 3, and help the horde swell once more. Will we reach that magical number of 1,000 Swigs? That, my friends, is a story waiting to be told. And there you have it, Swig, the Goblin Alchemist. Born from All-Stars 5, multiplied 1,000-fold, and cemented as one of the most unlikely legends in mythos. From a crooked grin to a full-blown community movement, Swig proves that sometimes the smallest figure can cast the biggest shadow. But the shelves of mythos are vast, and countless warriors, mages, and monsters await their turn in the spotlight. The question now is, who should we profile next? Tell us, collectors, what figure deserves the next mythic profile?
Trevor right here. So truly, I said this on the camera. You and I have been to lots of. I've never seen anything like this.
No, I was just talking to some people in there, and I'm like, where else do you see this? You know,
yeah,
like
it could happen. It
Designer
could,
Con,
yeah,
maybe.
Decon, yeah.
With like some vinyl toys or something like that, but I don't know that it ever has.
But I mean, there's no
There's
reason.
art shows and stuff, but at a con like this, I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
And it's not done by the vendors or a group of artists. It's done by just the attendee.
I was just telling Jeremy, I'm like, it's amazing. This is another organic thing that just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's so cool. A lot of you guys watch Trevor, watch me, who probably don't do anything with this stuff, right? You might watch Trevor for all the other reasons that you watch our channels. This is the thing I wanted everybody to experience outside of that vlog. I'm going to put it as its own short video too, because it's like you just should see it, because this is what fandom can be, and that's really cool. So
welcome all as we congregate to the greatest toy line in community, ever growing, ever changing. As we collect and adapt these figures to our own imaginations and embrace the fun, there's much to learn, especially if you're new to Mythics.
Hello and welcome everyone to a special New to Mythics, New to Swiggs. I am joined by some amazing people tonight. It's basically a celebration of the phenomenon of that is Swig, the 1,000 Swig movement. And I'm just proud to have a small part of that. So enough of me. Let's get to the people. I want to introduce first and foremost Terrence and Gina. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Congratulations.
It's that time of year again, so here we are,
Absolutely. I'm going to introduce our third co-host, and then we're going to dig into the Swig phenomenon, how it started and all that good stuff. So I couldn't have me and you, fans of goblins, lover of goblins, couldn't have you without Kirby. So, oh, there he is. I was going to say, we don't have Kirby. There is Kirby. Welcome, sir.
Hello, welcome everybody. Hi, good evening, everyone.
Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you being part of this. I know you're not, in all the different social shows and all that stuff. So I appreciate you hopping on and sharing with us.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
Now you did do a presentation, and I would like to do that. How do you feel about doing that right now?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
all right.
Something you put together. And
yeah.
I'm going to give you the floor. So you just tell me
okay.
when to slide.
Okay. So first of all, thank you everyone for coming to my Swig talk. Now, I am going to discuss the 1,000 Swigs movement as art. So you can see on the table, and we saw Trevor and Big Dub speaking about that there's a phenomenon of art toys. This has been going on for a little over 20 years, and you see that in a smaller scale. You see that in a very limited capacity. And so what the comment, I didn't plan that, what Greg played, but that really is something that what we're seeing at Legion's Con, what all of you who are watching, what everyone who goes to Legion's Con can be a part of, is something really special and really unique. And this Swig talk is to tell you how you can be a part of it. So, Greg, let's go to the first slide here.
Let's do it.
Because these Swig talks, they always start with, telling a little bit of story. And so I want to first tell you that apparently I didn't update my slides in time to get you the right pictures. So don't worry about it. We're going with it. We're just going to keep rolling.
That's right.
Yeah, we're just going. So 20 years ago, 2004, I managed to convince my friends to jump into my 97 Buick LeSabre. I drove an old lady's car because it went real fast and it was very comfortable. We drove from Olympia, Washington to Portland, Oregon, to the Art Institute of Portland to see the Subcultures Art of the Toy exhibit. If you go in the Wayback Machine on the internet, you can still look up the Subcultures website. Some of you might know that name, maybe not likely. You might know the name Jesse DeStasio. He's now of Toy Pizza, icon in the toy industry, in the Glyos community. He started a art exhibit highlighting how action figures, how toys can be art. And this did a tour all over the country, across different comic book conventions and different art museums. So yes, I convinced my friends to go on a 3-hour one-way car ride just to go look at some toys in a kind of museum. That is not a unique thing. What we're looking at on the screen right now is something that the Star Wars community did as well. It's called the Vader Project. It's happened a couple times, and you can look it up. And what they did is they took the iconic Darth Vader helmet and they supplied different artists. It was a curated group. There were select artists, and they took those one-to-one scale replicas of the Darth Vader helmet, and they gave it to these different artists and said, go to town, do your thing, make it your own. This is yours. Take the icon, remix it, appropriate it, do whatever you want. Do whatever speaks to you about that Darth Vader helmet. You can see the diversity. You can see people doing things. You can see one where they just, kind of chop the head off and put a brain in it. That's what somebody did. You see kind of a rat fink icon. You see someone that even like they kind of put, I think it's Tokidoki that, she has her own line of vinyl figures and is iconic in different fashion. So, and this is just a sampling. The first Vader project, I think, had like 100 different of these helmets, artists of all backgrounds and styles, and they went on sale and auction, and it was a big deal. They also went on tour. So let's look at the next one, because this isn't just the only type of art toy project. The Horsemen themselves did something similar just last year. We saw this. George Gaspar, of course, he's part of that designer toy community. He has been for a long time. He took that Valiant Knight, a very kind of standard, in a lot of ways, not very descriptive. It's kind of a plain knight in a lot of ways. But he took it and he gave it to different artists. You can see kind of in the back there's one that's very steampunk. Dr. A. Bruce Whistlecraft is the artist. He's very iconic for doing very, very steampunk work. He puts like every little metal rivet onto the knight. That's his thing. And every one of these artists, I think one of these is even Sucklord, who's again an icon in the toy community, bootleg toys, kind of does his thing, right? So he did that. He, just did that thing. So that was the idea that, again, a curated group of artists were invited to do a project together. Okay, so that's the kind of idea behind a lot of these art shows, is that they're given a specific medium and then said, go to town, make it your own, do your thing. Let's go to the next slide, and you'll see that there's another approach, because we saw this at the 1000 Swiggs last year. And this is just, there's so many examples of this that we all started from kind of the same base. Like I picked out my friend Patrick. He did this where he kind of did this on his own. He took some of those legendary figures in the Legion's community of the Ethereon's Dozen, right? The birds. And he remixed them, repainted them into fit with Swig. So he took the Swig heads, modified those, incorporated them. So now he had the Swig Therion Dozen, right? Great variations on a single theme. Really cool project. Let's look at the next slide as well. And again, we see this where, again, we have more or less the same base body, but, the patina prints, right? You recognize his work right away on the Swig body because of his artistry and skill, right? We also see kind of in the middle there that iconic, the J. Low Fidelity, right? He does that very chromatic kind of paint work. I believe that he kind of got back into customizing thanks to the Swig project, right? Yeah, thank you, Jen and Terrence. You agree? So, I mean... Right, so this is backing me up, yeah. So I mean, so certain artists, they took they saw Swig as a blank canvas, and they put their style on it. And then, like those other art projects, we have Jeremy Gerard, or we have Jackie Jager and Pinky the Pig, they took Swig and they said, I'm going to make it look like me, my style, my character, my design, my icon. And so they took Swig from being just a figure to a canvas. So again, we have this first concept of kind of how Swig can be part of this art show as variations on a theme. And let's look at that in the next section as well. Because what is the essence of Swig? How do you really get there? So this is a project, you can look up Toy du Jour on Instagram, and they're like a little toy store, toy company, and they do these projects where they invite different artists again to like highlight one of their favorite action figures. And they have one project called Faking It, where they took that He-Man figure Faker and they drew out the essence of that figure. What are the iconic colors and themes of that? And they just told, the artists that were invited or the ones that participate in their group, they said, do some piece of art. What does Faker inspire you to do? So, I mean, you had everything from, a Zartan, a Greedo, to a bust of Edgar Allan Poe in those iconic colors. And because they captured the essence of that character through the colors, through other art, or through so many different mediums, you identify it. You can recognize the icon that is Faker. If we go to the next slide, we'll see that again. And there's a lot of different projects that are really cool like this. So Walrus Mania, again, the vintage Walrus Man, the Pondavala figure, just again, that same distilling down a figure to the essence of it and making it your own. A lot of these figures, I mean, they just happen to be walruses in different media, but painting them a certain way really just hits a very cool point in which you can say, okay, that is Walrus Man. And it's kind of like a send-up, a love story, a love letter to that figure, because you're really just saying, I can identify that even though it's so far removed. There's nothing of the original figure in these things, but from a Battle Beast to a Thundercat to a Transformer to even like just a toy walrus, painting it up in that style is just such a cool way to really bring these things together and give a unified look. So when we look at, again, in the next slide at the 1,000 Swigs, we see that how many people, like Joe Gonsalves, like he did such an awesome project by going through all of Mythos, all of Mythic Legions, and saying, with the story of 1,000 Swigs that he was sent out to adapt and spy, what would all of the different races of Mythos look like if they were just transformed Swigs? So that's what we see here. I mean, he did so much cool work on this project, supporting it and everything, and I just wanted to give him his props because it was really inspirational to see. But as we saw, those were whole art projects, and people just in our community just started doing this. We didn't need to be told that. People just did it, and that was amazing to see that people picked up on this idea, kind of taking the essence of Swig. Most of these figures have almost no parts that actually came from Swig, but whether it's like the Jaguarian or the Fuzzmonk, you can still identify by the colors and different patterns that is Swig. And if we look at the next one as well, other people in the community even took it farther. We have, I think it's Billy Beige that did this troll. Like, there's nothing from Swig on this, but you look at that and you go, that is still
Right.
Swig.
Right.
0% original Swig figure, that's Swig. And of course, we remember, I think it's C. Jessam's, their kid, or their family, I forget who, his wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, knitted?
Caitlin,
right? So she knitted a Swig. And you look at that and like, that is so Swig. That fits into this greater exhibit, this thing that the community did. There's not even any action figure in that, right?
Auctioned that off for a lot of money that day.
That's awesome.
Everybody wanted that Swig.
I mean, not to brag, but I'm just saying, like, one of the things I'm doing is I've got my little, like, bootleg Labubu Swig ready to go for this year. again, not a single ounce of Swig figure. I don't know if Jeremy's going to let this on the table, but the idea is that maybe maybe we don't have all the money in the world to go around, but we can still capture the essence and the fun of this because there's so much imagination involved in customizing and creating that if we want to be a part of it, when we're creative enough, when we're thinking enough, everyone really has opportunities to. And let's go to the next slide because that's kind of what I'm trying to just show by the diversity of everything we're doing here. Here's some of the people. I recognize who did the first one here. This was Gina, right? And I remember,
Awesome.
yeah, that was you. And then Jeremy, one of his kids, made the little Charlie Brown tribute. And then we have, oh goodness, I'm blanking on the name. From Tanya, from Legion's Ladies, right? That she was newer to customizing, but again, she saw this as an opportunity to kind of start testing things out. There's less risk. Like, I know when you start customizing, there's kind of a little bit of fear. There's kind of a little bit of like personal attachment too. There's some emotion involved. You're like, maybe what I do isn't good enough. Maybe what I'm going to put on the table can't stand up to everybody else. But when you're surrounded by everybody else doing the same thing, you can kind of blend in a little bit. When you don't have to make the decisions about what your canvas is going to be, what your final objective has to be involved, when you take a lot of those decisions out of the equation, this is a great opportunity. As we can see from these really cool examples, you wouldn't know that these are newer customizers because they did things that this just inspired them enough to take a chance, inspired them enough to take that risk, to take that jump, and they didn't have to go through all the big elaborate process of picking out a million different things for their first custom. It was just the idea of like, here's your Swig, what are you going to do to it? And that's a great entry point for new customizers. So again, all of this is another way to say, as we go to the next slide, like, we're just looking at this is an opportunity for everyone to be participating. Because at the end of the day, even if we don't want to customize, if we don't want to pop and swap, we can look at how happy Jeremy is because we're completing a story. The 1,000 Swigs, at the end of the day, is kind of performance art. Just by bringing your standard Swig, you're part of a performance of telling a story. When we first started talking about this in the context of art toy movement, everything was very curated, right? It was that someone high up, some big entity, the Star Wars people, certain museums, certain brands, they reached out to artists and they said, here's your platform, here's your canvas. We want you, who's already a known artist, already established, we want you to do something to be part of our exhibit. That's not what's happening here. This is the community coming together to say, we want to do our exhibit. Everyone's invited. It's open mic night. Everyone can be an artist. Even if you just bring your Swig, you're helping tell the story of 1,000 Swigs. So that's what I want to tell everybody is all of us are able to. If you show up to this event, you are part of something so much larger. You're making a story come to life of all these different things that have gone apart and come back together. And when they come back together, there's change, there's different stories. And that's one thing that I only caught a little bit, but I know, our friends here up above us, that they've talked about that one of the biggest impacts is that the stories that were told through this, that the stories and experiences of people who just even came to this event and were able to participate, like, it's such a big deal to do it. And it's silly and random, and it has no right to be as big as it is, but we've all kind of caught the Swig fever. And so it's awesome. So I've seen Bill, throw out some names like, what can we capture from pop culture? What are these eyes? What are these ideas? Who can we, meme or do whatever else to? That's part of this the humor and joy of this event, that it's not so serious this as a formal art show. This is just a great opportunity for everybody to participate at every skill level, at every level of collector, and just to have fun. So that's my big presentation about how everybody has a very cool opportunity, and that this is utterly unique, because this is, instead of being curated and driven from the top down, this is from the bottom up. This is from the community pushing up back to the studio and saying, this is just what we love. And I do hope that, this year we're going to make it 1,000. Even if we have to lie about the numbers, we're going to hit our 1,000 and stuff. And
we'll just fudge it a little bit. We'll fudge it a little bit.
I'm an accountant. We do this kind of stuff all the time. So, we'll just do that, and then, just keep this spirit alive from year to year. Like, there's no reason why other groups, other people can't do the same thing, because it's really cool. It's fun, and it should be this is a great community, and that's what everybody always harps on. But we also want to never forget, like, the toys that bring us together, like, let's have fun with them. That's part of it too. Not just to get caught up in talking about each other, but also just have fun with our toys. So thank you all for coming to my Swig talk.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
I don't know.
No, that was great, man. Thank you. And you really summed up. I mean, we could end the show right now and we would be good. I just I agree, and I love, just my thoughts is that I love.
And this hood is hot. I have to take it off. My goodness. I don't know how I'm going to wear that Legion's Con. Goodness.
Kirby is always brilliant and inspiring. Well said, sir. Slow clap. Yeah, I love that it's such a welcoming, and everyone can do it. Like, even if you don't have a Swig, you can still, like, make something that looks like a Swig, the essence of Swig. And I love too that it's, like you said, it's all walks, like all levels of expertise or lack of expertise. Anyone can make something. You can make something. Yeah, right. We can do it. Me and Gina, we can find a way and harness creativity, and just, it's just fun to make something and be part of it, and be part of, this fun thing that Terrence basically thought up, which I want to get into again. We've told the story a few times. We've got to do it one more time. But I just love that it's so welcoming, and everyone is welcome to do it. Everyone is welcome. Even if you're not going to be at Legion's Con, you can have a friend, ship it to your friend, give it to your friend, bring it, got to get it on the table. So I just, I'm super excited. I've got one or two slides of just my experience. This to the right was my Swig, which is basically Team Ragna in disguise as Swig. I don't know how far she got, but she made it home with me, and that's all that matters. But just such a great time. But I didn't want to harp too much on me. I just wanted to celebrate you guys. So, but I don't want the people that are here to languish in the back. So I'm going to bring you guys up. We got Dub here, and we've got Jay. Welcome.
What's up?
We got Joe G, my boy.
Hey, everyone.
We got the Govier, Jeremy, and then we've got Paul Zach. Welcome. Hey, there he is. So I wanted to go over again with Terrence. How did this come about? Like, I mean, goblins have been here. They've been in the the toy line for a while, but where did this seed come from that you're like, you know what, let's do something here?
Well, it's funny. I think that, I think even our relationship, yours and mine, I think is even somewhat defined a little bit by the Swig event to some extent, because, you came to know me when I was raising funds for the mystery boxes. I was fairly a new collector. I'd been in the line for maybe about a year. And the mystery boxes were a cool thing for me because, the chance of getting some older figures and stuff like that. And I had been putting it on Instagram that I was selling things off to get more money to buy more boxes and whatnot. And obviously those boxes are paramount to how many people ended up with some extra Swiggs. I think I got one extra one. I know other people got more. And of course, there was a little bit of sentiment from some people who felt like they already had a Swig. They didn't know why they needed a second or a third Swig. And now I think I have about 15 behind me. But I can't get enough of them. But anyway, you and I started talking. We did the episode, and then Jeremy, I guess, in response to some of that sentiment we saw online, wrote the 1,000 Swig story. And from there, I just kind of thought, like, maybe you might look at it as putting lipstick on a pig to some extent or whatnot. But I figured we're all going to Legions Con anyway. Why don't we try to bring that story to life? And I put it out there. And, I didn't know if anybody else would jump on board of it. I was hoping that they would. And I think a week or two had gone by, and then David Williams had put up his black metal Swig that he had put up, and it was awesome. And from there, I really feel like that got the ball rolling. I know it got mentioned on Mythic Customs, Mythic Conversations a week or so after that. And, we started really, as a community. And I think, to Kirby's point of showing the history of action figures as art and toys as art. But again, the unique thing is how we as a community, each and every one of us, really weren't instructed by anybody else. We all just kind of came together and did this great thing. And even for me last year, as being involved in it as I was, it wasn't until being at the show the day of the event, hearing the stories from, Brendan Higgins, hearing stories from various people telling me, that sorry, we have some calamity going on here with the dog. But anyway, just hearing the individual stories from everybody. And I clearly got to meet a lot of people as they came up to the table to, hand off the Swiggs. Gina took the reins on doing the Swig wrangling. And she did a phenomenal job on that. I want to point out, too, if there's anybody out there who's concerned about bringing Swiggs to the table, they all did get returned to their appropriate people, including one person who actually jumped on a plane and took off before the event was over. But I think Schmerber was actually instrumental in getting that Swig back to that person. So
I did.
I
held on to it for a week, and then I
entertained some offers, see if anybody
Yes.
wanted them.
Yes.
But no, I mean, we made sure that we got every Swig got back to its original owner. It was really smooth, and I think that it was just, again, I mean, I don't know how many times I can reiterate, but like how uniquely awesome this community is. Both the Cabal, and I know I've been told several times that the Cabal is, a small section of the people who go to Legions Con. There's a wider audience there. I know this will be my third Legions Con this year. I was brought into the Cabal during my first Legions Con by Peter Johnson, who was online in front of me. I didn't know what the Cabal was. And there's no turning back now. I love the community. I love being part of it. I think as Curtis often says, try to always give back more than you take from it. So I definitely feel like this is just a fun exercise. It's a fun opportunity for us to all, take that Swig and make it a canvas. Some people might go to Michael's or someplace to buy a $5 or $10 canvas. We're using a $37 one. But the idea that, and that kind of goes back to you and I as well. I mean, you and I had talked about making a do-it-yourself Unkin at one point, and that was scary for me the first time, about taking a figure and ripping it apart and painting it, not knowing if it would turn out all right. But now I feel like I'm ready to do 20 more, you know what I mean? And I've done several since then. But the idea is it gets easier. And I think there's a lot of sense of accomplishment. But I also want to make sure that people know that they don't have to customize a Swig. They can do a pop and swap. They can even take a Swig still in the box, or bring a Swig, that's there. I know Brick Something last year had brought a bunch of printed pictures of Swig that people could even color up, if they wanted. The joke was that some of the experiments had actually turned them into flat Swigs, So, but the idea that, and I don't think we ended up getting too many of those on the table. But the idea being that I really just want to see ultimate participation. You know, if you're coming to Legion's Con, don't just be a spectator, be a participant. You know, get involved and have fun with us. You know, and this way, when we're showing the pictures this year, you know, you can say that's mine right there. You know, and you know, I don't know if this will be the last year of 1,000 Swigs. I would be okay if we hit the number this year and moving on to something different, something interesting next year. But you know, to Kirby's point, let's hit it this year. Let's hit the 1,000 this year, and then maybe as a community come up with what's next. You know, so expand the horizons.
Absolutely. And I think Swig is a fun canvas. You know, it's kind of just, I mean, it's a good figure, first of all, but you know, you can do so much with it. And like Kirby was showing in his presentation, like it's just the idea, you know, it doesn't even have to be the figure. It could be, you know, it could be the hood and the purple and the greens and all that come, oh, that's Swig, you know, and I think that's fun that there's not a lot of rules. And I remember when it was going on before Legion's Con, people were like, well, what's the rules? What's the parameters of? And it's like, there is no rules. Like, have fun. Like, you know, like make something. And that's what it's all about. I think is just having fun and creating. Like Joe, how many did you make, Joe?
12 altogether of custom Swiggs. You know,
okay.
That was.
Thank you, Joe. No, so I mean, I know there was a slide. I don't have the slide handy, but what were your Swigs like? What did they entail? Oh, so you gifted? What happened? Tell me, Gina. Tell me the story about that.
This was my gift from Joe. So I totally fangirled over these guys. I have a long history of loving Jekyll and Hyde and seeing it on Broadway multiple times. And I saw these and I completely fangirled, and Joe gifted them to me, and I love them.
I love the soft goods on that.
She cried like a girl.
I did. I cried like a little girl.
Like a girl.
They are my favorite.
I'm fairly sure if you just bang into Joe, like free Mythic Legions just fall out of his pockets, though. I'm not positive.
No, it's just so much fun. I love it. Just the endless creativity, like, you know, the endless possibilities of what you can make. What do you got there, Terrence? Let me see.
So this was another one that was actually put on the table by Mike V. And everyone else filled out their tags with their names for return, and he filled it out with my name.
Okay.
So
you.
I tried to return it to him, but he told me it was a gift, and I love it. It's kind of, to me, I think he's going to fit in with all of my retail versions of the Ghost of different Christmas past and future and present.
There you go.
But he kind of reminds me of, and I don't know if it's intentional, but he reminds me of the ghost from the Haunted Mansion at Disney. But
Ghost of Swig Pasts.
Yeah. So I usually treat him like he's like a statue or a spectral Swig, but no, it's the community is just awesome. I mean, you know, and so many people were just so generous with their time and their stories. I mean, it was fantastic, you know.
Absolutely.
But you're not obligated to give me the Swigs, I promise. You know, I have to know how I get them all home. You know?
I do want to go. I've got a ton of slides, and I think most of them are pictures from Dub William Wallace, who is here tonight. How you doing?
Good.
Good. So let's kind of go through and showcase some of these the Swigs from the past from Legion's Con 2024, and then we'll talk about the new Swigs with these artists that we have here tonight. Let's see what we got here. So walk us through, Terrence.
So this was at the end of the event. You know, we were finally lucky to get Jeremy up at the table at the end. He was actually very busy introducing some future project that looked like butter downstairs. I think it might have been a dragon or something like that, but we had to pull him out of that to get him upstairs.
Priorities.
Yeah, you know, but we did finally get him upstairs. And I would say, looking at this picture, though, one of the funny things was at the very beginning of the day, Jeremy wanted to know how many tables I would need. And I didn't know. I didn't even know how big the tables would be.
All of them.
And I said, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. And by the end of it, I think we ended up having like 11 or something like that. But we ended up stealing them from the next 2 conference rooms that were on the floor. But
because like we didn't know what to expect. Like we had
Right.
no idea how many were coming, if there would be any. Like, you know, like a few of us were in communication. People would take pictures of what they were bringing, but like there was not really any idea of
right.
you know,
I mean,
what was going to be there.
And in that regard, you know, last year we had the idea of doing a registration. We're going to do it again this year. And again, you don't have to register to participate. I don't want someone to feel like, oh, I didn't register, so I can't bring a swig. But you know, it is helpful in that regard to let us have an idea of how many might be coming. It's almost like a fun way of getting a pledge of, hey, you're going to bring 1 swig, you're going to bring 10 swigs, whatever it might be. But this way we can kind of get a sense of how many are coming. So we're probably going to launch that, I think, either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll get the links out there. And but of course, there's 1/6 shooter himself, you know, getting his swigs ready. I think he had 2 with us last year. One was Frankenstein, just you know, so many different swigs of different sizes and shape and color, but all, you know, the essence of swig, as Kirby likes to say. So
Absolutely.
And you know, that's the thing too. I want to make clear, like, Kirby didn't make it to the show last year. I can't wait to see him this year. I hope he'll be there. He was the MVP on so many levels between involvement with the 1000 Swigs event. You know, I couldn't have done most of what I did without him. And then, of course, I think he helped out everybody, and I mean everybody, who went to the Armory experience. You know what I mean? So there's not enough accolades that I can throw in Kirby's direction. You know, he was truly the MVP of last year's Legion's Con. So
Here. I agree.
I might have been the face, but he was definitely the brains of the operation. You know? So.
Never. No, never. Don't say that.
I didn't say it was a good brain. It might have been a little damaged, but you know.
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
We're all
Thank you.
cracked, you know.
Yeah, I have a reputation. We don't want to mess that up.
I'm just marveling at all the creativity. I don't know why my slides keep disappearing. That's weird. Look at that spider in the background. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing to see all the different ideas that everybody came
Yes.
It was
Yeah, you don't really see like, you know, oh, that was just like mine. Like everyone had like their own kind of view, their own vision of what they.
You had different creatures, but you also had so many tributes to pop characters. You know, I mean, there was a Hellboy out there. There were 2 different Supermen. There was a Hulk Hogan. There was Richard Simmons or Richard Swiggums. So I mean, you know, and again, from all over, and you know, again, I it might sound corny, but I what I love about this is that the Swigs are as different as the people that are creating them. You know what I mean? Like, in a lot of ways, he gets to be something different, just like we each get to be something different. You know?
Right.
It's a lot of fun that way.
Yeah, I agree. I love that flying one. That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Big G says, thank you. Your layout helped me build a lot of folks' night builds. Yep, that is true. That is true.
And I think that's part of it is just like everybody does come from different backgrounds. And so everybody's like, even when people have a similar concept, like you said, of, you know, people have their super swig. Why does somebody take one approach versus another? Like nobody's doing things exactly the same. And so what does that say about, you know, kind of our community, our background? It's interesting to see those details come through because sometimes as a community, and this happens like in all the action figure communities as people make customs, sometimes you get this kind of idea of like, okay, I made this character and so, or somebody made that character already. So that's kind of hands off, right? Like, you know, if we see somebody like high up, like if Emil makes a custom, right? Like how many people are kind of like, I think even Jeremy said that, right? Like even Jeremy is kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to show my custom because another customizer has shown something similar. But then you look at this table, and then you see the similar ideas but executed different ways. A lot of people didn't even have that idea of like, oh, that's too much like mine. Mine's not good enough. It's like you already brought your swig. Like just put it on the table and deal with it. Like
Right.
it's great, you know. And it's like so. I feel like that in some senses
So is
maybe
that the
help.
moment I feel like we need to cue Joe because I like what he always says. Joe,
Hit it, Joe.
There's no bad swigs.
there you go.
Yeah.
The art is what's important. It's what you put into it. You know, there was people that were customizing their swigs at the that Wolf King event where they were learning to paint for the first time. So the first thing that they ever painted was a swig. That fit in just as well as any experienced customizer, you know, on that table. It was all about the art and what we put into it and what everyone put into it. So that's my mantra for this whole thing. There's no bad swigs. Whatever you put together is your art, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think there's like a little bit of vulnerability, like when you have your swig and you know, you see all these amazing customizers, but once it's on the table and that's pretty cool, you know, and you look at everyone else's and it's like, you know, you're just part of something, you know, no one's judging, no one's saying, man, your swig sucks. It's not like that. Like this community, we're you know, generous and thoughtful and kind. It's like we're not putting down we're lifting you up and celebrating us coming together and being creative. That's what it's about, is being fun and being creative, doing something as a community.
And there's a song lyric from my favorite artist, my friend Paul, also known as Professor Elemental, and he's big in the steampunk community, right? So all the steampunks, like when they do their conventions, the whole point is when you go to steampunk convention, you're gonna be in steampunk. You don't go in a t-shirt and jeans. You got to dress up, right? So in one of his songs, he says, "Odd individuals look awesome together," and that always resonates with me. That like if you put enough of us weirdos together, and we're all weird, and we're all different, and we're all diverse, our diversity just makes us all blend together, and we're great. And so that's the kind of the same thing with the Swig event. Like none of us should feel any pressure, like to be like, oh, mine's not good enough. Like even if you're just putting down like your swig in the group, it's still part of this awesome collective.
Right.
So just get in there. Just, you know, it's going to be awesome, and you're being part of that awesome. If it was just like a couple on a table, that's sad and lonely. But everyone that brings us closer, you know, 1,000, that's a ridiculous number. If we hit 1,000, like, and everyone who brought one is a part of that, like, we're all going to be like just ecstatic. Like everyone, every you know, every kid, everybody who came and like brought their swig, they're like, hey, I helped make 1,000 figures come together for one moment. Like that is special.
I agree. I totally agree. So I was sent Jay's a couple of his customs that he had done, and I just love, Jay, your style, like the colors that you picked. How did this come about?
I don't know. The one of them is a Planetary Dog Toys, like that snake body, which I really just love painting, and I like had a few, and I was looking, and I was like, you know, this would be a crazy swig, and like my goal. Wait, can I just like stop for 1 second? Because Kirby, you call me iconic, and that's amazing. That's like the best thing that's happened to me, like at least today, if not the month. So I texted my daughter and like just like to rub that in.
Is she gonna be on today? I was really hoping we'd see her.
No, she's not here.
That's good because she would tear us apart.
Live on Saturday. Is possible, but also Morlock, I have beef with you right now because you thought of Taylor Swig before me. So like we're not talking.
Damn it.
Just saying that, but so like I just kind of last year was amazing, and everybody, I didn't know what to expect. And it was my first Legions con, so I didn't know what to expect from that either. And I kind of felt like everybody did stuff that was so crazy that immediately before, like in the middle of the whole event, I was like, I have to up my game up next year. And also, like, I didn't even know anybody at all. So it's wild to me that I'm even in this conversation today. I feel like you chose the wrong person, but
not at all.
Not at all.
I'm just kidding around. I appreciate you including me. But then the other one, like that one that's the Wonder Woman jet, I just found like a weird paint combination that looked really cool. And it looks really good on things that are like convex, like round.
Mm-hmm.
So I just use it on that. I just like making vehicles a lot. That's
No,
really
that's
it.
cool. There's no rules.
No, there are no rules, and that's the best thing about it. I mean, the great thing about this is, like, I mean, I've been making customs for a long time, but this was my first time making stuff really. Like, I had been only really doing Legion stuff specifically since February of last year, so it was a very short time for me to even be making these things, and to walk in and participate in something in this community that I was new to was awesome. That's like, it's an art show that you can just walk in, anybody can walk into. And like, that does not exist anywhere. And it's toys, which is more fun than like a lot of art, not all art, but certainly. So it was just so cool to stand there, with all these people who made all this amazing stuff. I kind of lost control of where that sentence was going. I don't remember where it started. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Paul, I've got a couple of yours here. This was your Swig from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are amazing, and I love the photography is great too, man.
Thank you.
So, what kind of inspired you to do this?
I wanted to change the head up. I put a 3D printed head on them. I put a potion bottle thing on them from my action figure customs that I had.
Mm-hmm.
The potion bottle was handmade. Added a cape, but just to change him up, make him look different than everybody else.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. It's your time to shine. Like you make that Swig however you want to. Like I said, there's no rules, and that's what's fun about it. Is you just create. No one's gonna tell you, hey, that's not right. And I love that. I think that's super cool. I had a picture of Dubs that I wanted to show. Dub was like, I don't know if I should. I don't know, but I wanted to show it, man, because that's freaking. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's badass, Dub. Tell me about this.
It's my Savage Swig.
Savage Swig.
He just he drinks one of his potions and just goes like berserk and just starts eating.
I love it. I love it, man. No rules.
It strikes me as like, the question on whether it strikes me as going into the Horseman's history of when they were doing the monsters for McFarlane. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think it's totally outside the wheelhouse of what you might have seen from Four Horsemen at some point.
Yeah, they don't really like to go rated R too much, bro. Like, you know what? It's for me, so whatever.
Absolutely.
It's fantasy, I mean,
Absolutely. Jeremy?
G is safe. I just want, if G is worried at home because of seeing that happen to a dwarf, I just want him to be worried. It's only a fantasy.
All Guesigues are marked safe.
Until they start winning more.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jeremy, what's your thoughts on the 1,000 Swig phenomenon, man?
Yeah, it was by far my favorite experience of last Legions Con. I went in excited about it, but I was just blown away afterwards of like just how amazing it was. I took so many pictures during that. That was the thing that I shared with the most people afterwards when I was trying to explain what this crazy weekend I had was all about.
It's hard if you're not there. It is hard if you're not there.
I think one of the things that's kind of been said, but I think is really worth us saying a lot of don't be afraid to bring things. Don't worry if you're
big.
Yeah, don't worry if somebody else had your idea. We're all being creative. We're all going to have different takes, even if somebody thought of that thing. Go for it. Make it your own.
Yes.
Make a Swig that says you, that says your friends. That makes you happy. Everyone's going to love them. It doesn't matter what you did for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, I mean, there's no wrong way, like Joe said, you know, there's no bad swigs. Just go and have fun, you know, pick up a swig, order one from the store, and just go shopping. Like I went to a Hobby Lobby and I'm like, what can I do? What can I make? You know? And that's fun. Just the endless possibilities of what you can create. Absolutely. Got DJ Swig by Hedgie.
That was
That was
awesome.
fantastic.
So damn cool.
That was like the show stealer.
Yeah.
It really was. It really was. So good. Yeah, I just love looking at all the different swigs. I mean, so colorful. All the different. They're all different. Love it. So have you guys been creating? Have you guys been working on your Paul, how about you, man?
Been debating on whether to make a second custom swig.
Okay.
Not quite sure yet.
The answer's yes.
You got time. You got time.
My swig was from Legions Con 2023 that I bought. I was looking for snag, not swig, and I didn't have any goblins. I'm like, all right, I'll pick up swig, see what this one's about. And then when they announced that you guys were going to do 1,000 swigs, I'm like, I guess I have to customize the one I already have.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely got people buying more, you know?
That was the whole idea, wasn't it?
I mean, kind of, but they keep materializing, right, Terrence? They just keep.
Yeah, I was saying.
I don't know what's going on.
Show started. It was funny. Like around Christmas time last year, you know, I'd been keeping track of where it was down because, in my own selfish kind of way, egotistical way, I wanted to think that I was making a dent in the 1,000 that they overordered. But they had gotten down to what looked like 50 around Christmas. And then they did an in-stock sale, and suddenly we had 300 again. And I've bought a couple since then, but it's still 300. So I don't know what's happening, but he's still multiplying.
I don't see it in shows anymore, so that's a good thing, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. When they did the whole in-stock sale last year, the blind boxes, like I was trying to get swig cheap because like people wanted to get rid of them. I'm like, I was trying to find them for like, $20, $25. I'm like, come on, who wants to sell them? But then they started doing 1,000 swigs. I'm like, crap, there they go.
Yeah, I remember that. People in the community were like complaining, like, "Oh, great, you got a swig too? We all got swigs," you know.
There was a small window where I got several swigs below retail on eBay because people were just trying to unload them, and then that went away pretty quick.
Yeah, that went away too quick. I didn't get any. Damn it.
How about you, Jeremy? Are you working on a new?
I'm trying to convince myself to stop. I was trying to be ambitious and catch up to Joe and do 12. But I just counted. I made it up to 14 already. So I think it's time I put my brushes down and start packing away for the con.
I mean, but when you're that close, I mean, stop now.
Do you want to show some of the ones you brought last year and maybe mix in something new?
I got one of my favorite from last year was the one that I made Sunday morning at the Armory experience. When they opened up the limits, I just decided I opened up the app and decided to try to make a swig out of the Armory Knights and brought that one up.
That's a good idea.
I made my Skelegro potion swig.
Awesome.
And then this year, my favorite's been the swig in space.
Hell yeah, super cool.
And then I've just been having fun making tributes to friends.
Absolutely. You've been doing that quite a bit, man. I love it. They just get crazier.
And even as
I know that guy.
my shelves and starting to think of other things I could put purple paint on their heads of. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The purple guys. Absolutely.
You have 14? I'm going to have to make some more.
Yeah.
That's half of yours.
I like this idea that there's a
Yes.
friendly competition.
There we go. Now you're just gonna make the most.
I put together like some random things today, and like that would bring me, if I actually went through with those, maybe only to 10. So now I do feel challenged. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep sense of how many of these I can fit in the box that I'm sending out to Big Greg ahead of time to have them at the show, and I think I'm starting to fill the box, so I got to stop soon.
You know, I could buy you a bigger box.
Yeah, that's true.
You do make boxes of both sizes.
30.
Joe, you've got some work that you've been.
I unfortunately
in
this
between
year
shows?
I have not had a lot of free time, but it's interesting that we mentioned other people having the same ideas, because this was a swig that I put together for today's show, and I saw while you were showing your photos of the event, the same soft goods, the Max Bird soft goods, were in that photograph, but I build my swigs around an idea. At the end of that 1,000 Swigs story, King Noglin sends out the swigs to spy on other factions. So I have been building swigs around the idea that they're using their potions to change into different forms to spy on different factions. So
I like it.
Each of the swigs that I'm doing is meant to blend into a different faction or the same faction. They also spy on the same ones.
Awesome.
This one was fun because my dog chewed up a Jaguarian head of mine, and I actually cut the nose and ears off and attached them to a swig head. So that's actually an actual swig head underneath there.
Oh wow!
And I've tried to use as many official parts as I can for most of the figures. Even the mustache belongs to Dubon.
That mustache.
So, yeah.
All about the stash.
So, I love my mustaches.
We
do
know that. Yes.
Mustache.
Yeah. So this new swig that I did would be like to spy on the convocation. I
love it, man.
I've got a swig. I organize my collection by faction, so every faction has a swig hid in the back. I customized 13 with this one now total, but I've bought 30 swigs because I'm always looking for an excuse to spend money on Mythic Legions. So
I don't even know if I own 30 figures.
But the story really was what drew me into it, and then as I got into it, like the Jekyll and Hyde swigs, I originally just wanted to do a Jekyll and Hyde set of customs, and when the 1,000 Swig event came up, I was like, well, I can just make them swigs instead of just so I think any custom idea that I had could be kind of twisted into a swig custom, so if you're struggling for ideas, any custom that you want to make can be a swig custom. So it's just part of the fun of the event.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is so many cool swigs here. Jeez.
There were swigs people didn't even take out of the package last year. They just put them on the table with the rest of them. Just bring your swig.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like,
And
you can't
that's
even
okay.
open it? Come on, man.
That's okay. We'll take any swig.
I like this picture here with Terrence. He's got like the sweeping hand, like he's got a vision, he's like, all the swigs this way. And I think
One day this will all be yours.
Yes, one day. Epic.
I don't remember who did it, but somebody even just put a swig hood on a bottle of, I think, Maker's Mark.
Yes.
I remember that.
Who did that?
Wasn't that Chris from My Action Figure Customs or something? Or no, not my.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Mythic Minute.
I don't
No,
remember what it was.
Action Figure something. I think it was. I can't remember
Brett
now.
says my swig.
Yeah, there's a whole
Brett,
head on the top. Yeah.
Brett's sending me pictures. Damn it! Don't send me pictures. Can't do it.
We went through this the other day.
So Gina,
Yes.
what have you been working on? Have you been working on things and anything that you could show?
I haven't worked on a swig yet, but this is going to be one of my swigs for this year. because
Wow.
My flying monkey is mostly a swig body, and it's just the monkey head and feet, and then Xenothon.
I think they were Xenothon wings.
Xenothon wings. Yep, they were
Did
red.
you paint the feathers? I love that.
Absolutely, I did.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so super proud of him. He is probably my favorite custom that I've made so far.
Yeah, I like the green.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah. I matched the green Armory Knight paint to paint the swig body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then, so this was last year's, and he'll come with me again this year. And this was the one that I kept saying, I've never picked up a paintbrush since I was a little kid, and I'm going to make something that looks like a 5-year-old did it. And
Not at all.
so happy with how he came out.
That pearl.
And he started my customizing journey. It was actually just a year ago. I got the Facebook memory 2 days ago. So a year ago, a couple days ago, I picked up a paintbrush for the first time, and I love
Kirby says a 5-year-old Picasso.
But and for me, this has been like super good for my. It sounds silly, but my mental health.
No, not at all.
Because I talk about it all the time. I have ADHD. It's definitely very apparent in all aspects of my life. But when I'm painting, it's my quiet brain time. Like I completely focus in on what I'm painting and what I'm creating.
It's a hyper focus.
And yes, and it's so nice though. It's like to just have that quiet time is so nice.
Your brain shuts off for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're super hyper focused, and but I have a bunch of ideas. Well, I've got a bunch of projects in the works at the moment, but I have a couple ideas that I'm going to be throwing together this Saturday. So tune into Mod Squad Saturday morning.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Yep. So we're going to be part of Mod Squad Saturday morning, and it is a swig event also on Mod Squad. So I have a pop and swap idea that I came up with the other day that actually was originally, I was like, oh, this is going to be a full custom. And I was like, wait, I can pop and swap this.
You can't, it's a Mythic Legions type show. You can't not mention that it will also have Curtis on it.
Oh, yes, of course.
So
Curtis will be there.
it'll be Mod Squad with art by Ackerman.
Curtis
I also
comes
believe
with
my
YouTube.
daughter is coming to
He's
that.
part of the YouTube.
Yes. Oh, I thought that was just understood. If it's a Mythic show, it's Curtis.
Yeah.
He's probably here. He's
He
probably
is
hidden as a
here.
swig. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He's in disguise.
Pressing the buttons for me.
Yes.
That's what
Right.
someone needs to do a Curtis swig.
What was that?
Someone needs to do just a Curtis swig.
I'm making a Curtis swig.
Gotta do the.
Could you leave it at home though?
No.
And you gotta have you gotta
In the middle of
you gotta
the
you gotta have him behind the
With his
computer
gauntlet.
desk.
He's gonna be sitting on a gauntlet. Look, see how this
There
happens?
you go.
There you go.
Got to put a pair of those fuzzy slippers on that he had on the Legion's Con last year.
No, bare
Make
feet.
sure
It's gonna be bare
make sure
feet.
no.
The only time we
No, I was gonna say put socks on them.
Even Darla hasn't seen Curtis's feet.
Got to see the toes. See the toes. So you said this Saturday at 8,
I don't remember the
8
time.
or 9.
I know I saw Tanya in here. Tanya, tell us the time.
I think it's 9.
I think it's
She forgot.
9.
Is it 9? Okay.
Yeah,
And
'cause I
that'll
think-
be a good opportunity to, do some customizing on your swig, get work done. We've got 60 days, less than 60 to get there for Legion's Con.
You
Yeah.
Swirtus.
Yeah.
It's coming. It is
Too
coming.
quick too.
Man,
Next thing you know, we'll be there.
I am not ready.
Me neither. Nor's my wallet.
Yeah,
But
you're in line there.
You said registration for the swig is.
I have to confer with my co-conspirator Kirby, but it looked like we had almost everything ready to go. I think it's just a matter of us posting it up so that people have access to it. But we kept track. We still have all the entries from last year. From everybody who gave us a Swiggs. We have all these names. So we're going to start a auto dialer soon, calling all those folks and making sure that they remember. But yes, these are actually all the original slips of everyone who entered a Swig last year. We held on to them for posterity.
I love the operator thing. Didn't you guys do like the operator and like people?
Gina and I ran the call center, the Bay Theater telephone hotline. Yeah.
I love that. That was so funny.
That was fun.
It was, and people actually called and left messages. It was pretty good. A lot of people didn't realize it was a real number, but it was, and we got some really great messages. I think that. I think Jordan and Van had actually collected some of those calls and actually put them into the show for Purple Gang Gang.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun,
Absolutely.
But we still never got an articulated butthole on Band here, no matter how many times people asked for it. So.
People asked a lot.
Oh, geez. So what's your thoughts? Kirby, what's your thoughts on 25,000 Swiggs?
I had to start early because I suspected as Legions Con got closer, I'd be involved in other things, other projects that I'm probably supposed to be working on right now. Other apps. I mean, we could look at that. I mean, I don't have.
I would love that. That would be a scoop right there.
It would. No.
No.
Okay. Soon, very soon. I will. By next week. Yes, it's coming. For people who are curious about the Armory little tool, I know it's been mentioned a couple times tonight. That here is the scoop. That I had some. Don't do that. I don't want to.
It was a scoop, man.
No, it's everybody knows Jeffrey Evans, right? He's he reached out to me and he said he'd like to help, so he's been helping me. And so instead of my usual, just do it like a little cracked out goblin and stuff, it's going to look a lot better this year. The armor, and then I also consulted with Bill from Dark Layer on kind of how to make sure that the exclusivity, the parts and stuff, I kind of worked with him a little bit so that is well represented in the app as well. It's going to be a lot more visual this year, and that should be coming very soon in the next couple days, I hope. We've just got a few more pieces to finish up, but it's working pretty good, pretty well too. And then we're going to be getting that out to everybody, and we hope that everybody has a fun time with it and it's useful to everybody again this year. But just using all my spare hours to work on that thing. So my Swig customs are, I have been doing them where I can. I've got a couple that I've been working on. It's still, when I get time, I'll get to finish them up. So I'll be on the table as well this year.
Awesome. Can't wait.
So I guess if we all buy Kirby a shot or a beer or something like that for thank you for what he's done for us, I guess he'll be drunk before the show even begins or something like that, right?
And probably all through it.
We'll just roll him around in a cart. I don't think he'll
be the only one.
Right. That's thank you.
I wonder though if like what Jeremy did, if anyone's going to utilize the new Armory parts for their Swigs. A Swig with a tail.
That green torso would fit really well.
It would.
Yeah, I'm trying to use my new builder to figure out what I'm going to do. I have one Swig head that's my plan, is just to have whatever's in the Armory this year. I'm going to figure out. I'm just bringing the head. I'm going to bring it. That's going on there, and that's going on the table. So, because I have to pack light with traveling and everything, so I'm going to just bring the head with me, and then I'll bring home the rest of the body when I go home.
There you go. Yeah, I left mine in baggies. I didn't put any together while I was there.
I tried putting like a couple together, but I was like, no, I wasn't messing with it.
Yeah. Yep. So much fun. Does anyone have anything else they want to add? Anything they want to talk about with Swig? You guys are all quiet tonight.
I got a few questions.
I don't want to butt in. But I really said about like I also have ADHD amongst like 7 other things. But like the idea of painting as something that is like art therapy, but in a way that's, I mean, kind of fun, more fun, is something that's probably the thing that I think about the most as a customizer. So it's nice to hear somebody else say that. And like, it's been also nice with this project is, speaking of hyper focusing, is like hyper focusing on a character is even more, I mean, I probably hyper focus too much because it's like, then I'm just thinking about obsessively.
You're obsessed.
Yeah. But I mean, it is great for you. And that's one of the things is like, it's not just that there's no such thing as a bad swig. I think there's no such thing as a bad custom because like, who cares how good it is, right? Like you've made something and you've made a toy, which is a painting is also nice. It probably requires to a degree more skill. And that's so helpful for, I think, people's mental health. I think that's a good thing to advocate for.
Absolutely.
Be serious.
Be
serious most of the time, but you know,
I bought 30 swigs, Jay. Don't feel bad.
What's that thing about Joe?
I don't have enough swigs. I'm looking at every single thing that it can have like a purple head on. Like this is, I found an old, this is actually my action figure customs. I don't know if I can like, can you see that? So this is like, it's a pothead swig, I guess. There's like a pot on the head. So that's rated R maybe, but you can't see that it's purple.
PG-13. It's fine.
It's legal, actually. It's fine. In New York and New Jersey, I think, which is where we'll be. So that's one thing I found, and like we were talking about before, like recognizable elements of a swig. This has so this is basically the bottom half of a swig. It's hard to see again, but then I ran out of head, so I just have this goblin head. And then I also have these crazy, this is like a NECA, like a shredder clone or something. So I'm just going to paint this head orange. And then with this being like normal, like bottom of a swig, it looks like a swig, I think. You'll have an orange head.
Yep,
but
absolutely.
I've been digging around through, this is what I did today. Actually, I cleaned up the space before this because this whole thing was just stuff out with me brainstorming, which was a lot of fun. Like I have this head, which is this thing called the Kappa that I got. This is from One Per Case, and it kind of looks like a goblin. This is like an old school sculpt. Mm-hmm. You can make it. It's got the ears like that, and it has like I painted that purple, and that's it. That's another swig because I'm just looking for anything I have.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Like if
we were talking about anything that's recognizable. Yeah. Like just purple and green make it a swig.
Yep. And if anybody wants like a weird lesson about Japanese mythology, I know Curtis really loves this. This is a character from Japanese mythology that has 3 ages. It's true.
All right.
And
efficient.
It is efficient. I'm going to see if I can work that into this custom.
Unless he's constipated.
I mean, maybe that'll ease constipation or make it.
Well, no, because then it would hurt 3 times worse.
Yeah, that's true. That actually sounds awful.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing that I really love about the project is getting to create a character, period. It's so amazing to have the freedom of the concept along with what you actually paint. Because a lot of the stuff, I mean, either I make something and it looks ridiculous and I have to come up with a concept, or with Swig, I can do it the opposite way around. And just like, I mean, Joe's so organized. I'm thinking about everything that you're doing and it's so organized and it makes so much sense. And like,
it only looks like that for the photos, man.
Well, no, I mean, like the concept of it being in Mythos and having them in every faction, like everything I've been doing has just been like maximum chaos. which is the opposite, but that's what's fun for me. But like, I don't know, like this.
Well, sometimes that's what makes better art too.
Well, not
Nothing says swig like chaos. Also,
exactly.
That's kind of like my idea. So I also think that like there's no reason that like Cosmorium and like Mythos can't be like they're related in my like headcanon. So like I came up with a swig that I had this head, which is like this moon goblin, and like the whole idea is that like he got sent to some weird planet that has so many moons that there's never nighttime, and he went insane and lost the hand in the. I don't even know. I can't explain what I remember like writing because it's been bizarre, but like I try to make it like absolute nonsense. And this is the other thing I've been working on is like this really sexy swig.
Ooh,
this is a work in progress, but
stripper swig.
Well, she's like a female barbarian.
Yeah.
Or a stripper. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on whether or not I bring my child, who is a fierce feminist. She won't like that. So, depends if she decides to come, I suppose. It's up to interpretation. It's art, right? So,
Dub, are you going to take more pictures this year for?
Well, see, that's what. It's funny because I took most pictures last year was at the Swig event. I was looking through all the photos. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I didn't get any other pictures except like the Swig event. I had this plan of like
that's all day having a great day.
Well, I planned on going to like everybody's table and taking pictures of everybody at their table, like down the line, down the row, each all the way through. And then it came Sunday. I'm like, it was just all day at the Swig event. I didn't go anywhere but there. And then I left to go home, and I was like, I picked up my whatever I did my orders for customs that I bought from people, and I was like, crap, I didn't take hardly any pictures this weekend. They were all at the Swig event.
Well, we appreciate you taking all the pictures at the Swig event.
Absolutely.
Nobody else documented it as well as you did. So
that is true.
And if you want a really good picture of yourself from Dub, you just have to show up to the Swig event then.
That's right.
Pretty much. And especially if there's going to be more this year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I think we got all the information out. Bring a swig, bring multiple swigs, or send it with a friend. We've got a surprise guest here. The inevitable one. We mentioned his name.
How many of you are there?
Said his name 3 times.
There's just one of me, Jay.
See, but unlike Trevor, he shows up.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, somebody sends me a link. I don't just ignore it.
Anyways, I appreciate everybody. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, I guess. I mean,
you son of a.
Look at this guy here.
Hey, here, by the way,
on a
there's a
shirt
link.
and everything.
Yeah, here's a link. Click.
So bring a swig. Bring multiple swigs.
Curtis has to turn one of his Enochs into a swig.
There you go. Or it's Elijah's. You bought
I don't
how many
know
Elijah's?
that I can afford any of my Enochs. They're hot
all 10 of
commodity
them.
right now.
Maybe some red skeletons.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
you'll have to
Screw
see
you.
if they cut a swig face into a plate shape that can actually fit into the Enoch, maybe, or something.
Now I'm
Oh,
gonna have to
that'd
do
be nice.
that, Jeremy. Way to go! I'm just gonna throw a swig head on Clavian. There you go.
Well, that would be perfect because it's very alchemical, right? Turning something absolutely worthless like Enoch into gold like Swig.
There you go. Yep. So Saturday is Art by Ackerman and Mod.
It's Mod Squad or
Mod
by
Squad.
Acton. I do not get top billing. It's their
Okay, I'm
normal
sorry.
time slot.
Mod Squad.
So
Yes.
He's just invading.
yeah.
Yes.
Keeping
and
everyone
post.
safe there.
People that are working on your swigs, post pictures, like, put them in the cabal, build some excitement, Instagram, show them to everybody.
And don't forget that hashtag 1,000 swigs. So that way we can find them and then we can spot.
Yes, absolutely. And I look forward to seeing everybody's customs. I look forward to seeing everybody's swigs. Anyone have any thoughts before we call it a
Just
night?
to remind everybody, there's no bad swigs. Whatever you make is appreciated.
That's what I was going to say too, is if you're on the fence about, do I have enough talent to make one? I didn't think I had enough talent to make one, and I have a whole new hobby. So don't be afraid and just do your best and have fun with it. Like the whole point is have fun with it and participate.
Have fun.
I don't mean to
My bad,
disagree
baby.
with Joe, but I saw a lot of comments in the chat tonight that shows that there are many bad swigs, but bring those too. Bring the bad ones.
Bring them all. That's
bring
right.
the good ones.
You gotta
Those
say
count.
misbehaved.
Yeah.
They're not bad, they're misbehaved.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not breaking the law. They're just doing stuff that's slightly irritating. So
yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Curtis knows all about that.
On that note, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you, people in the chat. And we'll see you guys at Legions Con.
Absolutely.
Swig 2025.
Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
guys.
Good night,
Appreciate it.
everyone.
Good night.